What's good, YouTube? This is KB LaFleur. You can call me KB. Welcome back to another video, man. We got a good little discussion, right? We got a good little discussion here, man. We got a post that's gone viral, man. Or somewhat viral. But like I said, for me, it's just a great discussion. But pretty much, man, I mean, just y'all see the post yourselves. We've always had this debate, pretty much of should white women be able to have cornrows? Right now, even my girlfriend, when me and her went to a cruise a year ago, over here in Bahamas, you had a white couple sit over here, and as you're walking, as we're getting off the cruise, go to our excursion or go to our port or whatever. And once again, this is in Jamaica. We are walking, and in this little area, they have, I want to say, at least maybe two or three women. They will literally sit here and just braid your hair. If y'all know what I'm talking about, I believe this is Nassau. If y'all go to Nassau, if y'all cruise, if y'all will know what I'm talking about. But for the most part, they will braid your hair, right? Now, of course, a lot of these cruises, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Carnival will go there. So being that it's Carnival, right? Being that it's Carnival, right? You're gonna have a lot of black folk there. So of course, a lot of black folks gonna want their hair braided. But in this situation, I saw two white couple go up there, and I saw a white lady getting her hair braided. Now, for me, I don't care. You know, that's what you want to do, then that's what you want to do. I mean, it's your hair, right? It's literally your hair. I don't, hey, it is what it is. I don't care if you braid your real hair however you want to braid your real hair. It is what it is. I draw the line once you start putting horsehair in your hair, once you start putting fakes or putting wigs and all that stuff. Like, no matter who you are, why? Just wear your natural hair. So of course, my girl, she pointed it out, and I'm just like, well, what's the issue here? So of course, a lot of your sisters will catch attitudes with that. A lot of your sisters will say that's culture appropriation. And once again, I don't care. That's what you want to do. If that's what you want to do with your real hair, then go ahead, right? I don't care what you do with your real hair. But the fact that people are so triggered by somebody else, once again, getting by a white woman or an Asian woman getting cornrows in her head, it's mighty weird, right? It's mighty weird. Now, of course, as you see the post, right, the woman says your hair, right? You have a sister talking to a white woman, and she says, the sister says to the white lady that my culture is not your hairstyle, right? Now, the lady responds, right? The white lady responds and says, B word, who you talking to with a blonde wig, right? Now, that's, once again, that has been an issue for years, right? How can sisters sit over here and talk about white women or Asian women and saying that they're culture vultures and saying, hey, well, why y'all putting cornrows in your hair? Why are y'all twisting your hair a certain way to match our hairstyle? But then when you look at the sisters, they're wearing blonde weave that is straight. It just doesn't make any sense. That's literally hypocritical. Like, that's like the kettle calling the pot black. Doesn't make any sense, right? It doesn't make any sense. But here we are, right? Here we are where a lot of people want to have this discussion. Now, let's go ahead and read some of the comments, man, because it's really the comments, man, that once again will always open up your eyes to how a lot of things are today and how a lot of people think, right? How a lot of people think. I mean, a lot of times you hear a lot of sisters down, a lot of Beckys when you hear a lot of black men date outside of the race. But once again, these are the same ones that will go to the closest horsehair shop and say, hey, well, let me go ahead and grab that hey, yo, grab me that blonde blonde weave right there, bro, so I can go ahead and put that on my hair. Hey, you talking about the curly one or you talking about the straight one? Go ahead and get the straight one. Go ahead and make sure, man, perm press, all of that. Make sure I want that one. Go ahead and give me that. I'll come back for the jerry curl one next week. But right now, I just want the nice straight, pure blonde one. That's not hypocritical. Some people in the comments think otherwise, right? Some people, of course, will make an argument that, hey, well, you know what? Here in history, back in history, people, black folk could have blonde hair, this, that, and the third. And once again, like I said, a lot of your women will make excuses, right? A lot of your sisters will make excuses to make the argument seem better. That's all I'm saying, right? That's all I'm saying. But we're going to go ahead and talk about it. But let's go ahead and look at these comments real quick. So someone says, so what about mixed race girls then? Right now, so of course people are going to say, well, hey, well, what about mixed race girls, right? What if mixed race girls, what if a woman who has a black father and a white mother, what happened if she twist her hair, right? Now, of course, in the black community, we always going to say black is dominant, right? We're always going to say black is dominant. I'm going to just leave it there, right? We're always going to say black is dominant. So I would say they get a pass, but of course, you're going to have some girls, some mixed girls who want to, identify more with the white side. I just say it's whatever side you identify more with, right? You trying to pull a Kamala Harris. Let's just say if Kamala Harris start wearing cornrows or start wearing black hairstyles, it's like, okay, like she's really culture appropriating because she was never doing this beforehand, but now because she wants the black vote, now she wants to do it. So, I mean, hey, y'all tell me, right? Y'all tell me. Somebody else says Vikings started most hairstyles. Somebody else says, why are people getting in their feelings? Who cares? Take it as a compliment. Somebody else says, is that supposed to be a tattoo? Somebody else says, I love what? Somebody else says, and from this moment, Keisha and Becky became best friends. Somebody else says, I mean, they both have a point, right? Now, to some degree, yes, two things can be true at one time, right? Where I will say that some women, right, some white women who are wearing cornrows, you can question it, right? But my biggest thing is, right, now I'm just go ahead and just throw it out there, right? I was saving it, but I'm gonna just throw it out there. Generally, when you see white women with cornrows, with black hairstyles, 9 times out of 10, the best friends are black women, right? They generally hang around black folk. So to sit over here and say, hey, well, you can't culture appropriate, but these would be the same women, man, that once again hang around other sisters, right? These would be the same women. You can tell them apart from other white women. And that's just a fact, right? A lot of times, a lot of people can tell, oh yeah, she mess with black folk. Oh yeah, she mess with black folk, right? There is, I remember seeing this Indian guy, right, where he has a black wife. He has 2 kids with that black wife, right? Beautiful family, right? Beautiful freaking family. Now, here's the thing. He is Indian, right? He is Indian. Now, of course, when you look at him up close, right, when you first look at him or whatever, of course, not now, right? I feel like he has more of a black style now, but I guess I'm assuming if you really looked at him before then, right, he kind of gives off that, okay, you can just tell that he's Indian. He might be Indian, Sudanese, whatever, right? And of course, some people gonna be like, well, dang, I mean, it's kind of crazy, of course, when you see a foreigner dating somebody black, like them, like, oh, dang, you really date black folk, right? It's kind of crazy, especially the ones who date black women who tend to be, once again, you're a very strong, masculine woman. I'm talking about your sisters, man, who tend to be in the hood, right? And generally when you see guys, man, who date sisters, man, who are more connected to the black roots instead of the sisters, man, who want to be swirlers and, oh, I want to deal with them, deal with their culture. I love the Indian man. I want to deal with their culture. I'm talking about some of your sisters, man, who deal with guys that are foreigners and they bring them into their culture, right? You look at some of these guys and you're like, okay, I can just kind of look at them and tell, yeah, they got that black effect on you. They have that black effect. Looking at this man, and when I looked at his mother, I'm like, oh, I really see why he really deals with black women. I really see why he can really connect with the black people, because when you look at his mother, she's Indian, of course, but once again, they're also born from Trinidad. He's also born in Trinidad. But another thing is when you look at it, you can just tell, like, bro, I could just tell, like, you hang around black folk all day. I can tell that's who you were raised by. That's what it is here with a lot of white women who tend to wear braids, who a lot of people say they be culture vulture. A lot of women who say, oh, well, you can't, our culture is not your hairstyle. Once again, these are the same women, man, that invite these white women into their damn group. The white woman that I knew, right? I knew one specifically. She had braids. Her best friends were black women and a gay black man, right? And these were some hood rats. So once again, whenever you see white women, man, who have cornrows, who have black hairstyles, who have black mannerisms, 9 times out of 10, they hang around other black folk. They're more relatable to black folk than they are white folk. That's just my opinion. But tell me I'm lying. Somebody else says laugh in 613. Somebody else says really blonde hair and blue eyes were around before white skin. Please know your history. It's in a couple of books. Read them. African DNA is the first and the only gene called the Eve gene, and who can create all colors in hair texture. And this is what I mean by you will have people here, man, who will just, once again, who will try to do everything to be disingenuous. They will try to do everything to be disingenuous for whatever reason. People, go ahead and give me your top 10 male and female R&B artists, singers, right? Your black, female, and male R&B artists and singers. Then go ahead and give me your top 10 black, female, and male rappers. Then go ahead and give me your top 10 black, female, and male pop star. Now, when you go ahead and think about all of these people that's your favorites, right, or that you can think of that are black, do they have blonde hair? No, they do not. When you think of every black person here in America, do they have blonde hair? No, they do not. When you think of every black person in Jamaica, do they have blonde hair? No, they do not. When you look at all of the people over here in Africa, do they have blonde hair and blue eyes? No, they do not. Now, granted, is she wrong in the sense of, you know, hey, that in a sense that can be true that we all come from black folks. So if we're all coming from black folk, then you have people who have blonde hair, then obviously we are capable of having that. That's the way I see it. Where do you see over here in America, in Jamaica, anywhere where black folk reside, do you see black folk with blonde and blue hair eyes? With blonde hair and blue eyes? You will never see that, right? You would never see that. Granted, once again, there are, I believe, and if I'm not mistaken, there's like a small group. There's a small group a small group of black folk who can that pretty much have that ability and that has that gene. And I got to do a little bit more research, but they're far out, right? And my girlfriend made the same argument years ago. Well, there is a tribe or a village where you have black folk who do have blue eyes and blonde hair. Is it common? No, it's not. It's not common whatsoever. Less than probably 0.0000000% or 0.1 of black folk has blonde hair here in America and in Jamaica and in Africa combined. So once again, it's just being disingenuous. And that's why I said I really dislike people who try to make comments like that, because once again, you're just being disingenuous. Now, I understand the point, but at the end of the day, it's very disingenuous. Somebody else says pointless post. Somebody else says people with straight hair don't get detention and or fired from jobs or not selected in the first place from wearing their natural hair out. Now, once again, that is false. Now, once again, you might have some cases, which is true, where you have people who wearing dreads. I mean, hey, once again, that is a stigma we have created, right? That is bad, right? And it's a piss poor stereotype, because once again, you shouldn't be judged because you have dreads, right? Because when you look at Rastafarians, a lot of those people have dreads, and a lot of those people have to have dreads. That's part of their culture. But let's just be honest here. We did create a negative stereotype where a lot of people who do go to jail, they have dreads, they have wigs, they have all of that stuff. So of course, you're going to have companies who said, hey man, listen, we're not going to have that here, right? We're not going to have, long dreads. We're not going to have certain hairstyles. And yeah, and I get it. And I don't agree with it either. I definitely don't agree with it either. But that's just the way America is, right? That is just the way America is with the 3Ks. That's just how it is. And you have to follow suit, right? You have to follow suit. Now, to sit over here and say, hey, well, I'm going to get fired because, hey, for the most part, most of your sisters don't have dreads, right? A lot of your sisters don't have dreads, and most of your sisters are not getting fired for having dreads. But once again, there are some cases, you've seen some small cases where that may have happened, right? But for the most part, it doesn't happen. Plenty of sisters, man, have dreads. They get jobs, man, where they don't have to worry about they don't have to worry about having dreads. Also, you get to pick the job. Hey, you have interviews. If I already have dreads, right? Listen, people, think about it. If I already have dreads and I get the job, don't you think they would say, okay, well, hey, before you can get the job, you can't have dreads, or hey, well, we would like to hire you, but you have dreads. I doubt they will hire you to bring you on just to tell you, hey, well, we're going to have to fire you because you have dreads. So once again, when you're talking about hairstyles, let's just be honest here. A lot of women tend to get fired because they have crazy wigs, right? This is from what I've seen. This is a lot of stories that I heard. A lot of women get fired for wearing crazy wigs. Get fired for putting ink in their hair, putting dye in the hair, and everything. I mean, hey, once again, this is why I say just wear your natural hair and be classy with it. There's nothing wrong with just having curly hair. There's nothing wrong with having your hair in a bun. Now, hey man, once again, if you want to have a wig, you want to have dyed hair, then hey, but once again, you just can't get upset when a company does, what they want to do when it comes down to a dress code. I mean, because that's their company, and this is how America is set up. I mean, you have to follow suit. No matter what sister has breakage or not, whether a sister has breakage or whether a sister has split ends or whatever, it is still hypocritical to put a blonde pressed weave on your head, because once again, that's not who you are. Right? Now listen, once again, think about it. Think about what she's saying. If she's saying that, hey, well, you know what? There's nothing wrong with her putting on there's nothing wrong with them putting on a blonde weave because they have breakage in their hair. Hey, there's nothing wrong with them putting on a weave because they have breakage in their hair, because it's for a protective style. If that is the case, then wear your hairstyle. Why not get a weave that is curly and black? Why does it have to be blonde? Right? Why does it have to be blonde? Because that's not something that you can create. So, I mean, hey, but once again, you can literally just tie your own hair. You can tie your own natural hair. So that's where the difference comes into play, but I mean, hey, y'all let me know down below how y'all feel about it. Do me a huge favor. Leave me a like, leave me a comment, and leave me a subscribe.